Okay, for number 2, it says, what's the range of this function? So I'm going to, basically go back to what I learned in pre-calculus. So I'll have to use some calculus to do it as well, by the way. But let's go to number 2. And number 2 is a function, f of x equals x plus 1. And the bottom is x squared plus 1. By the way, I know the domain of this thing is all real numbers. So what I basically do is, kind of looking at the problem is put down some really simple points over here. And one simple point would be the x and the y-intercept. So the x-intercept would be -1, and the y-intercept would be 1. The next thing I would look at, these are two simple points, by the way, x, y-intercept. So again, x-intercept is -1, 0. The y-intercept is going to be 0, 1. The next thing I kind of look at, maybe, basically sign analysis, and it only takes on 1, 0 at -1. And, after -1, you take any number you want and you plug it in. It's going to be positive. And if you go below -1, take any number you like, this thing would always be negative. So the next thing I would probably look at is the limit as x approaches infinity of f of x. We're just looking at that. The bottom grows much quicker than the top. That goes to 0. And if you go to the bottom, the left side, towards -infinity, that also goes towards 0. Now this goes to 0 through positive numbers, through negative numbers. So I think I'm ready to draw a picture of this thing over here. So I know it's asymptotic with this, asymptotic with this. I'm going to say it does something like this over here. I'm not exactly sure, by the way. All right, not exactly sure. So this is what's called a pre-calc sketch. Just what you did in pre-calc. Kind of looking at this, though, I want to go to calculus. And calculus really introduces something that I could probably figure out, which is going to be a relative maximum. In this case, it's going to be actually looking at global. But I'm going to say relative max. It's also going to be global. Just kind of looking at it. And over here, I'm going to say relative minimum. It's also going to be global, by the way. How do you do that? Take a look at derivative. Let's do that. So what's f prime going to be? Take that bottom and square it. Take the bottom, bring it to the top, leave it alone, times the derivative of the top, which is just 1, minus the top, times the derivative of the bottom, which is 2x. Doesn't look too bad. Let's take a look at this over here. F prime, x squared plus 1 squared. And what do you get on top? You get x squared plus 1 minus 2x squared minus 2x. You get this on bottom again. Not much I can do about that. On top, what do you get? You get minus x squared minus 2x and a plus 1. All right. What do I do now? The critical values here. The critical values where top takes on a 0. I'm expecting to, get 2 of them at this point. It's quadratic. And I also expect it from the graph, by the way. But that's going to be a little bit, some work over here. So I got to take this top and set it equal to 0. And that's going to be minus x squared minus 2x plus 1 equals 0. I'm going to say x squared plus 2x minus 1 equals 0. I'm using a quadratic formula to figure this out. Of course, I can't do it using integers. What do you get on bottom? You get 2. Let's see, minus 2 plus or minus, let's see, 4 minus, oh no, it's going to be plus 4 then. All right. So what does this give us? I'm going to be careful here. Minus 2 plus or minus square root of 8, which is 2 root 2 over 2. That doesn't look too bad. Let's write this down. X equals minus 1 plus or minus root 2. All right? Now I'll put that in number line. I have minus 1 minus root 2. And I have minus 1 plus root 2. All right? Now looking at this thing over here, I need a test point. Like over here, a good test point here would be 0. Over here, a good test point over here, I'm going to say, I don't know, sake of argument, let's call it 10, sake of argument. Over here, sake of argument, call it minus 10. What are you going to do now? You're going to plug it in to the derivative. If you plug in 0, which is pretty easy, by the way, it's going to be positive. What does that mean? The function's increasing. Now, if I take a 10, plug it in, what are you going to get? You get negative. Again, plugging into that derivative. What's this over here? This is a max. It's what I'm expecting, by the way. Now, let's do the other guy. Let's go minus 10. What do you get over there? You're still going to get negative. What's this over here? Minimum. So, let's write this down. So, this global maximum occurs at root 2 minus 1, and this global minimum occurs at minus 1 minus root 2. Again, someone says, what was their question? Their question was, what's the range? I'm looking at it now, but I still don't know what the range is. I have to do the computation now. So I have to do f of root 2 minus 1. This can be the maximum value. I'll do that in a second. And I have to do f of minus root 2 minus 1. And what's f? Well, I'm looking at it. I can write this down, by the way. On top, you're going to get, oh, by the way, let me write this down. F of x is x plus 1 over x squared plus 1. But just plug it in. What do you get in top? You get root 2. What do you get in bottom? When you square that, well, let's write it down. Be careful. Root 2 minus 1 squared plus 1. You get root 2. When I square that, I get, let's see, root 2 1 squared is 2. 1 squared is 1. That's going to be 3 minus 2 root 2's, and then plus 1. What does that give you? Root 2, and then you can get 4 minus 2 root 2. I'm going to clean that up a little bit. It just doesn't look right to me. I'm going to write down, well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to clean it up even further. Let's write that down. So root 2. The bottom, I'm going to factor a 2 out, and that's going to be 2 minus root 2. I can multiply top and bottom by 2 plus root 2. What does that give me? 2 root 2 plus 2. Wow, a lot of 2's, aren't there? On bottom, what do you get? You get a 2. Then you can get 4 minus 2. And you can get 2 root 2 plus 2. On bottom, what do you get? You get 4. I'm going to divide through by 2 now. Let me get rid of this thing over here. You're going to get root 2 plus 1 over 2. That's the maximum value. Let's do the minimum value. You get minus root 2. And on the bottom, what do you get? You get minus root 2 minus 1 squared plus 1. Let's go through the work. Minus root 2. On bottom, what do you get? You're going to get 3. And then you're going to get 2 root 2's. And then you get plus 1. That's like deja vu all over again. Minus root 2. You're going to get 2 root 2 plus 4. Let me factor out a 2 now, just like I did before, by the way. Multiply by a conjugate. And what do you get there? You're going to get minus 2 plus 2 root 2. On the bottom, you get 2. Root 2 times root 2 is 2, and then minus 4, so you get minus 2. I'm sorry, I made a mistake there. Root 2 times 2 is 2, minus 4, yeah, minus 2. What does it give you? Minus 2 plus 2 root 2, and then you get minus 4 on bottom. I'm going to divide top and bottom by minus 2. You get 1 minus root 2 over 2, and that's the minimum value. All right? What's the range going to be? The minimum value, 1 minus root 2 over 2, up to, and it touches it, by the way, root 2 plus 1 over 2. And we're done. Thank you.